What is going on, guys? This is Yix here of Magnet Crypto and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I want to talk about something else. For those of you that watch Netflix, there is a documentary that came out I think recently, called, there's one called The Social Dilemma, and there's another one called The Greatest Hack. I think The Social Dilemma came out recently and the other one maybe a bit earlier. Anywho, I watched both of them and they are basically about how social media, especially the likes of Facebook, Instagram, Google, all of them could collect a ridiculous amount of data on us, and they use AI and different algorithms to basically predict and to modify our behavior to allow them to sell these profiles to different advertisers so that they can then use those profiles to push ads our way that we're most likely going to purchase and what have you. And they also use all that data to create profiles on us to help sway elections. And they did that with the Brexit election and also the US election in 2016. And the Trump campaign, I think they spent about 5 million or 1 to 5 million a day on kind of social media advertising and using data to help them win the election, but in particular to help them constructing campaigns that would have the maximum effect in their favor. And when you have so much data on people and you can use that data to manipulate people, there's going to be a high chance that will work. And so I watched those two documentaries, and it just it makes me think how important cryptocurrency is, because with crypto you actually own firstly you own your keys, you own your bitcoins and your various different cryptocurrencies. And you alone who owns it. But also, the reason why I've got this Brave browser open is that, with Brave, for example, the emphasis is on the fact that it's a private browser, and all these trackers and cookies that are installed on your PC while you're browsing the internet. There's none of that on this browser. It's all about privacy. It's all about basically being completely involved in the process, in this exchange of attention of data. So a lot of these cryptocurrency projects think along this path of decentralization and of you owning your assets. And the biggest asset of all is data. You've got the likes of Ocean Protocol, which also works with data, and at least what that's trying to do is all the data you've got tied up at home or in a company, you can actually leverage the data and sell it, give it out for a fee in a very safe manner. So instead of data being sucked out of us, all this information being sucked out of us for no, and without getting no kind of benefit from it, which is what all these social media companies do, with the likes of Ocean Protocol, you actually are able to use the data that you have to gain some kind of value from it, and that's the direction that's the direction that cryptocurrency is allowing us to go, because it allows you to completely own your data, and then if you choose to, you can release that data and leverage it, but it's your data, your keys. If you saw my video on Ocean Protocol, that was actually one of the things that one of the founders was speaking of in the article. He mentioned what's his name, Antonopoulos, that's it. He mentioned Antonopoulos, saying that your keys, your Bitcoin, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. And he added on that by saying, you know, your key is your data, not your key is not your data. And that's, again, you know, the emphasis with crypto is you have your keys, you own your data. So important going forward that this carries on, because the amount of data that they have on us is ridiculous. They can predict, you know, they can manipulate us in so many different ways, because the amount of data that they have on us, it's very, very scary. And the fact that now young kids have access to iPads and phones, but what they don't realize is, one, the amount of data that, you know, these companies are getting from them, but also how they are manipulating the kids in a certain direction. So they can actually, you know, in a way, just fill the minds of these kids in whatever way they want, whatever, you know, agenda that they have, political views that they have. You know, they can just slowly move their minds in that direction, which is extremely scary. Especially, you know, if you haven't had kids, if you have kids, or if you're looking to have kids, how easily they'll be able to manipulate the kids. And they, you know, they use the data to spark riots and in various different countries to, again, even I think Trinidad and Tobago, they were able to create a campaign because they knew how the people thought with all the data they collected. So they were able to sway political votes in one direction, which got someone in power who was a bit more authoritarian. So obviously a lot of negative consequences. So yeah, I just wanted to basically have a little discussion about that, because I thought, you know, crypto is not only about making money, although many of us are in it for that reason, including myself. The fact that it's also about sovereignty, being able to own your own data and not being influenced as much, or at least being aware of the influence, the manipulation tactics that are being played on us. At least being aware of that is valuable in itself. So, you know, that's and I did the reason why I put Brave Browser on is you can see how many trackers and ads are blocked. You know, 937,000. The time that's been saved, and this is from just the amount of as you can see, trackers and ads that are being pumped your way. Most of them you can just ignore, but a lot of them, you know, you wouldn't have clicked on it if they wasn't pushed your way. So you're buying things that you probably don't need, and it's not because you're just spending on things just because you're reckless. It's been put in your way, and the data shows that you're probably going to click on it. So is that manipulation? 100%. So yeah, I'm going to finish on that note. A bit different to my usual, but I thought it was very important, and it definitely connects with cryptocurrency, these two documentaries and what's going on with social media. If you haven't seen those documentaries, highly recommend it. Please go watch it. It's very, very important. But on that note, I hope you got some value from that, and see you in the next one. Peace.